So, what would you do if your best friend died or your best friend's spouse died? Because death is a really weird thing that changes everything that you know. And 1 second, your spouse is here. And the next second, the people who are surrounding you become your designated grown up or your pit bull or the ones trying to make you eat soup. I brought the people into this room. This is a few of the people who have gotten me through the absolute darkest time in my life. And I wanted to do the show for a couple of reasons. One is because I don't know what it is that makes you guys so good at this. And I feel like people can learn from it. And I also want to have a conversation about what it's like for you guys, because not only have you been helping me through this horrible thing, but you lost your friend. You know, my husband, Noah, died in November and he was friends with all of you. I'm so impressed by the way that you all have just gathered around and done what you needed to do to help get me through. But at the same time, you're grieving yourselves. And so I wanted to have an honest conversation about that. And I know it gets weird, like, what do you say? What do you not say? So I want to have that conversation so that people that either they're in the middle of this or they're going to be, because that's how this works. You know, half of us will be widows. And I just wanted to kind of shed some light on something that nobody really talks about. And so I wanted to introduce, this is Heather Cullen. And we've known each other since elementary school. We were in Girl Scouts together. And I think if people, you know, knew you, they'd probably be really surprised that you were a Girl Scout. Right. And
always prepared.
Right. Always. And so it was funny because when my husband got diagnosed in 2019, he ended up in the hospital for almost 2 months. And Heather stayed at our house with our girls. I say girls, dogs. We had four rescue pups. And Heather stayed here and like kept the house going and took care of our pups. And then ended up meeting Nick and Kaylin Price through Heather. And Kaylin was coming over and, you know, kind of filling in, letting our dogs out. She'd never even met us before. You guys had never met us before. And this is Nick. You know, he's less camera shy than Kaylin is. But
maybe.
Kind of, a little bit. But I think it's funny that I met you guys through Heather.
I didn't know that. I
yes.
thought y'all were just neighbors. I had no idea.
Right. And she was actually their wedding photographer. This is how amazing Heather is. I always say she's got sunshine coming out of her butt because she's so just like lights up every room, and hopefully you don't get murdered because I said that, because you light up every room. But you know, they became friends with Heather because she's so great. She was a wedding photographer and they're friends for years and years now. And then I met Hope Jones, was a 10-ish years ago. We would have met 10 different ways because we have a million mutual friends.
Yes.
And one thing that I actually had kind of forgotten about and was thinking about the other day was when Noah was first diagnosed and we were in the hospital and we were friends at that point. This is 2019, but we didn't like take road trips together, anything like that. Hope sent a card and it was like, just want to let you guys know we're praying for you. You probably don't even remember this. And just want to let you know we're praying for you. And you put a gift card for Starbucks and one for Publix. And you wrote snacks with an exclamation point and like a heart. And I remember Noah and I were talking about like, how sweet is that? Like, how generous was that? And I've never forgotten that, even though my memory is horrible. Just those little things that make such a huge difference that, you know, like we're not alone and there are people that are praying for us and things like that. So I thank you all for being here. And I know I say constantly that I don't deserve friends like this and you should go find someone who's more fun to hang out with, because I mean, seriously, I mean, you guys have like helped me clear up my dad's house and everything, you know, Noah, and just, so I wanted to kind of see what it was like from your perspective, because you guys were here on the front lines, right, with me, and you still are. So what was that like?
It was really hard to see how fast things changed. Mm-hmm. You guys came home, you know, knowing that, came home from being out of town for a long time, knowing that this was going to be it. We're going to come home and spend quality time with everybody. And I remember we all got together I think it was like on a Saturday for dinner, bought,
Mhm.
beefs and had some drinks and hung out and like, no, it's just his old normal self. He was sick, but we were laughing and cutting up and,
Yeah.
it was just another dinner of friends. And then literally within a few days, it all changed
Yeah.
and we lost him. And I just, it was just really hard to see that change so fast.
Mhm.
And just to see you basically suffering through that period, knowing, like, knowing that he has a little bit of time left
Yeah.
and you're doing everything you can to make that last bit of time with him just around friends and family and memories and just checking off all the things that he wanted to do.
Mhm.
And you're just doing it,
Right.
and it's hard to see one of your best friends, and her husband. It's just hard to see everything kind of crumbling and falling apart. And all you can do is just show up and be there and just try to love on them and support them and help them out. But I got a little taste of that. And it just reminded
Yeah.
me of how lucky I am right now with what I
Right.
went through. That's hard. It was hard to witness, but I'm
Especially
thankful that I was here
me
and
too.
able to be with you
Mhm.
and support you and love on Noah until, the last hour.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that time and that you allowed me to welcome me into that space
How did
and
that
let
change you? That whole experience.
it just reminded me of how precious time is
Mhm.
and how precious family and friends are. And it reminded me, like I said, of how things could have gone for
Right.
me and Todd,
Yeah.
and it didn't,
Right.
but it did for you. And that's hard to know what I could have been going through.
Right.
And I just knew I had to be here. I had to be here to support you because it's just the right thing. It's what friends do.
And I think that when we have friends who have health issues going on, especially the cancers, I feel awful for them because I feel like you had a glimpse of what that is
Yes.
and what it could be. And so I like that you know, recognize that there's perspective there, that was a reminder, you know. I wish it didn't have to be horrible. I knew that you guys were all struggling. It's not a fun thing to come into this house and, with everything that was going on. So I was amazed at how great you all were at being there for us because I knew you were feeling it too. And she's attacking the water bottle. She's doing hood rat stuff. So with Ben, your 9-year-old son, he was really close to Noah.
Mm-hmm.
He called him Pop Pop. And actually, funny story, the reason he called him Pop Pop was because Noah showed up. He had brought something to your house. I was like, I have to go to Dad's. Can you bring this over to the Prices? And he took some chicken nuggets I had gotten from, Sam's or something. And after he left, and we hadn't seen you guys in a while, we had been out of town for treatment. And Noah had grown this beard, and it was pretty much all white. And so when he left, and I don't think Finn had seen him without me, right? We are always like a
Probably.
package deal.
Yeah.
And so he looked up at your wife, Kaylin, and said, "Is Noah Melissa's dad?" And she said, "Yep, that's her Pop Pop." And so I think Finn was probably 4 or something. And
He was young, yeah.
yeah. And so he called him Pop Pop ever since,
That's
Yeah.
so cute.
And they had this thing where they would get, brown bags, and like Noah would always misspell Finn's name and put random stuff in there. Like, here's some potted meat and, some matches, things kids like. And then, put cookies or something good in there too. But
The potted meat wars went on for a long time.
they did. How
Yeah.
many pots of those meats did you consume?
Several.
Yeah, I figured.
I mean, he brought over quality stuff.
That's funny because you'd be like, you know what, Nick likes this. He'd start to get something like Nick likes this, so he would get the potted meats that you would enjoy. But I wondered what that was like for Finn, you know, being that young and that being.
Yeah, he's always been really aware.
Mm-hmm.
It was really tough for him, but he knew what was going on. We don't really hold back and hide stuff from him. I
Right.
don't think that really helps.
Right.
And even just like last night, we were sitting there watching a movie, and it was a Stallone movie, and he's like, I know that guy. I was like, yeah, that's the guy who plays Rocky.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he just says, you know, watching Rocky movies now just not the same without Pop Pop.
Oh,
And he said that actually last night.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, I know, you know, and it's kind of like the correlation now with even me. I grew up with watching them, but you know, it's kind of like ingrained now, you know. But that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. So, but no, he's aware. You know, he misses him. He thinks about him a lot, but he knows.
Yeah. So Heather, I brought you here today to ask you why you kept trying to make me eat soup on the day Noah died. Melissa, you need to eat some soup. Have you eaten? There's soup. It doesn't have gluten in it.
You were persistent.
She was so persistent.
I'm worried about her health and her not eating and her blood pressure dropping. And so, but I think she really got annoyed with me. But,
I have annoyed her as well.
But yes, I just always worry. And, you know, not everybody thinks about reminding you to eat, you know, so that was just, you know, that was my contribution.
Right. Yeah. No, Heather's always looking out for people and trying to make sure everybody's good. And it's a joke now. It's like, Heather is always bringing champagne. She's like, I'll bring the champagne.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know you have soup too. Do not ask me. I will never eat soup again.
I forgot the champagne today. I was going to bring a bottle, but it was early. So in my defense.
Heather's like, we're going to go do a podcast. Champagne. Yeah. Did you or did you not, like, on the way to the funeral, did you offer food? I feel like I got in the car. You're like, I have breakfast.
We did. We had snacks and we had champagne just in case you needed to take the edge off.
Yeah.
You know, it was, you know, but we did. But we had orange juice to dilute it.
Right.
So mimosas are appropriate.
Right.
Makes it okay.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But we did have lots of snacks because we wanted to be sure everyone,
Yes.
you know.
And you know,
So.
you're kind of a shit show.
I'm absolutely.
You have a lot of issues.
I
so you do need to eat.
A billion percent. And I appreciate all of the, like,
The momming.
Yes. So
I just can't help it. It's in my nature.
I
was
will
just
never
like,
be mad about
yeah.
it.
Yes.
No, I will never be mad about it.
I know I was pushy sometimes. I was like, just tell me to cough.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Right.
Like, I know. Like, I just want to make it okay.
You actually
Noted.
never you never did too much. Like, I feel like you were my designated grown up. So when I'm like filling out paperwork, my vision, it's so weird the things that happen with grief. My vision got blurry. Like, you came over and I was filling out one of the 50,000 pieces of paper that you have to deal with when someone dies, right?
It's horrible.
And I'm like, I couldn't focus. I couldn't read a word on the page. And I guess that's a stress thing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm like, hey, I need my grown up to check this out. And then Kaylin, your wife, she was kind of the pit bull, right? When
yes,
things were going
she's
Yes.
so good.
She's on the phone with the
She's my
florist.
canine.
She's on the phone.
Everybody here has their place and their niche,
Yes.
and it takes a whole team to come together to support throughout. Like
Right.
you just do. Like
And
everyone's got the thing.
I felt like you guys
Muscles.
did such a good,
Candyman.
muscles.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you guys did such a good job of kind of, I felt like you were having meetings or something. Like, you
Oh,
all
girl,
had
there were side
your-
chats going on.
Okay, 'cause I'm
She
like-
hasn't responded to me today. Have you heard from her? Yes. Okay. Well, I'm going to go to Sam's. I'm going to tell her that I'm going to pick up groceries. I didn't need to go pick up groceries, but I was going to tell you, hey, I'm over here. Can I get something for you? Because you would never ask.
That
Right.
happened a lot.
Yeah.
really?
Like,
Oh yeah. There was a
no,
lot
I'm
of
not
secret-
driving 35 minutes to
Yeah,
Sam's.
there was a lot of secret squirrel
For my
going
stuff.
on behind
It's
the
like, hey,
scenes.
I'm just here. What can I get for? Or I'm
Yeah.
just going to swing by and drop something off.
I was sitting here thinking you guys were all mind readers and like, they know exactly what I need even before I need it.
Well, there's that too.
Right. It's like,
Yes.
it's like, I'm standing here with strawberries in my hand. Would you like some?
I just left a Dunkin' Donuts on the porch.
Right.
I just felt like you could use some coffee.
I think the
No need to
challenge-
respond.
During a lot of the challenge during that time was trying to find that healthy balance of we don't want to be here too much and
Right.
kind of like want to give you any kind of space or time with no whatever. So especially like I know Kaylin kept asking you and hey, tell us to leave, and you're like, no, don't,
Yeah.
so we didn't want to really like impose at the same time, but we wanted to all be here to help you guys and hang out with both of you.
I think that's a key thing right there is being able to have a conversation, because trying to guess is just
It's hard to read a room in situations
Right.
like that.
Yes.
right. And
Because everybody's different too.
right.
Mhm.
And this is something else with grief. I always feel bad for you guys because I feel like you can't win, because once the worst thing happens to you and your spouse dies, no one's going to make you feel better.
Right.
Like, you're not going to have the words, you're not going to know what to say. And just because this thing that you said helps right now doesn't mean it's going to help later. And it doesn't mean it's ever going to help again. And maybe the opposite is what it's going to be. So I really feel like just communicating that is key. You know what I mean? Like, if you have questions, just like you guys would say, hey, do we need to do this? To just take that off the table, because it's so exhausting doing just the basic things that need to be done. That in itself is exhausting. And so I feel like if you can just say like, hey, just let me know if you need this, or if did you guys, what was the biggest like hurdle as far as just being here in this and navigating it? Like-
Probably supporting you. I mean, Noah was even in his worst state, such a tough guy.
God, yeah.
And he never
Mhm.
complained. I never heard him complain one time the whole time he was sick.
Me
Never
neither.
heard him feel sorry for himself.
Me neither.
But I think like for us, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was not in the moment then to really think about us, because we had time to decompress after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really about, what do you guys need?
Yeah.
So
So you
Yeah.
cry when you get in the car.
I did several times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were many a nights that I did, not knowing. I thought there were a couple nights I thought that was the last time I would see Noah, and luckily it wasn't.
Right.
So I was very thankful for that. And those, that time when you guys came back from Arkansas, those 3 weeks or whatever was probably the best and worst of my life. But I'll never forget it, and I'll never regret it.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it, one thing I was a silver lining really was, I think it kind of brought us all together as like a really awesome team.
Right.
And brought us
seriously.
closer at the same
Yeah.
time. And I was, I feel much closer. I've known Heather a long time, and I feel much closer to Hope and Todd and a lot of other people because of that now. So I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. A good little trauma bond, huh?
You're still a pain in the ass.
I
but-
totally am.
but, sometimes you have to live with the hemorrhoid for a while.
Yeah.
Aw, thanks. Thanks,
You're my
buddy.
favorite hemorrhoid.
Oh,
Yes.
Aw.
But-
With occasional flare-ups. We're getting better. Yeah. Getting better.
I'm trying to get better, trying.
You're doing great.
Thanks, Mom. So actually those like hoodies that I wear that like for Christmas, I showed up at my brother's house because Noah passed away November 19th, and it was a week before Thanksgiving, and which happened to be our like 21st anniversary. And you guys started getting me these hoodies that I think the first one said, someday we'll all be dead. But it had like rainbows and butterflies.
It was a feel good piece.
Right. And I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it was Mom had passed away, and I was like, this is great. And then the next one, you got one that said dead inside, but still smiling. I'm like, that's me.
It is.
It totally is.
It
It
is.
totally is.
That was all Kaylin. So I can't take a lot of credit for that.
She's Dead Parents Club. That's what I wore to Christmas, because I was looking at, okay, I'm going to my brother's house, and his family's going to be there. This is the first Christmas I've ever had as a widowed orphan, right? Like, my parents are gone, my husband's gone, And so I kind of felt like it's so easy to break down and it's so easy to get caught up in that. So I'm going to make it awkward. And that has been an amazing tool. So I literally look at those shirts as like putting on my armor because people also don't know what to say. Like, oh, there's the what. If somebody is sick, you know, that's the guy with cancer and that's his wife. He doesn't have, it's always a thing. So I feel like you kind of come in with this Dead Parents Club hoodie and people are like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to be afraid of making her cry.
Yeah.
Because obviously she's
game for
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, like she's not okay.
Yeah.
She's a nerd circus, so I'm not going to make her cry. So I really felt like that got me through Christmas. It really did. And then we had Mardi Gras coming up and I had a Mardi Gras shirt on. And that was something that, you know, Noah and I would do together. And we did it for years and years. And like Heather's been down there with us. And this was the first year, you know, as an adult walking in without Noah. And I thought everyone's going to be weird around me because nobody knows what to say to the widow. And so I thought I'll make it weird. And I put on my Dead Parents Club hoodie. And I felt like it just kind of entered the room before I did. And, you know, people kind of saw it and were kind of taking it and then they'd laugh. So I think there's definitely something to that. Those shirts have really helped me like lean into the dark humor and how that kind of helps you get through.
Whatever it takes to bring a little joy and
Your
a little
favorite
smile
kind.
to the day.
Well, except for this one.
Right. Poor Heather. She just kind of, how many times have I made you uncomfortable?
I'm getting
All of
better,
them.
though. I'm getting better.
I've
'Cause
heard her say that for like 10 years. I'm getting
I'm getting better.
Yeah.
But if it makes her laugh, that's great. But like now it's like, ooh, I just set her up for that. At
Yeah.
first I felt bad and I was like, well, I can't believe I just said that. And then I was like, I just set her up for the best joke to make me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So okay. I that's all right.
Yeah, it's like I say it's like putting putty on my shattered black little heart. It's like a little bit of putty. So Heather, we always say, you know, she's all like, yeah, she's just like the way she is right now is how she always is. I've never. She'll tell stories like I was so mad, but I'm like, stop, what did
I
you
was
stop?
so mad.
I was so mad.
mean,
I only
guys.
made one batch of cookies
She doesn't
instead
ride
of
in the
two.
car with me very often,
Yeah.
does she?
Well, Heather came over one day and this is probably a month or two after Noah passed. And she was like, oh, I just want to come over. I'm like, dude, I'm not fun. And she's like, no, it's okay. And I just want to see you. And you came in and I was literally, I like laid on the couch as I felt like I couldn't even sit up and Heather's, you know, being Heather. And she's like, oh, this is good. And she's like, have you gotten outside and gotten some sunshine and fresh air? It really just helps so much. Have you tried? It's a beautiful day out. And that's Heather. And then I'm like, yeah, I sit outside every morning and I read my Jesus books on the porch and then I throw the ball for the dogs. So yeah, isn't it great? Doesn't it make you feel so much better? I'm like, yes, Heather, the sunshine and fresh air is so wonderful. It made me forget Noah's dead. And then that face right there is what she did. But then that made me laugh. And I was like, all things. So
It's just such a weird time because, like, we're, you know, you're here in this house alone and people kind of start, after everything's been done, like, people start dropping off
Yeah.
and forgetting and their life goes back to
Right.
normal. But, like, your close crew, it's like, we want to be checking in on you and making sure you're okay. And, you know, we're dealing with things at our house or whatever in
Yeah.
our lives, but, like, we really needed to make sure that somebody is checking in, making just like, you know, welfare check.
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
you good? Like,
Yeah.
no, I mean, that's dumb. Like, no, you're not good, but like,
are you
just-
okay
yeah.
right now?
No,
Yeah.
you're not okay. We know that. But
like, are
just
you
trying
safe?
to trying to touch base and make conversation and just think of some random thing just so we can touch base and just try to gauge where you're at and can we come over? Can I just bring you something? Because I want to put my eyes on you and make
Yes.
sure, you know, you're taking a shower or drinking your water. I don't know. I mean,
I always
eating
say
your
if that, the day I stop showering, that's when we have a problem.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's,
yeah.
yeah.
So-
Other than that, I haven't been eating my soup though.
And then if we didn't get a response, then the side chat
Yes,
text would be like,
we're
I
like,
haven't heard
"Nope."
from her.
It-
You heard
it-
from her. And then luckily Kaylin and Nick were so close that
Yeah.
we could really check in with them because, you know, the proximity
Yeah.
of like coming over to do something or, you know, bring a package, pick up whatever, drop it off. So we just, you know,
It's such a weird place to be because I feel like I used to be intelligent, right? I feel like I used to kind of have it together. And now it just feels like my brain doesn't work. And so I feel like you guys pick up the slack for me and just have shown so much grace. And one of my favorite things, actually, I feel like you like researched how to support someone going through grief. And I know you had a lot yourself. And so I think that made you this just amazing support. But around Christmas, I get this text from Hope. Your dog is Mac. And so they come over and play with my dog, Maggie. And so she's like, you're invited on a Christmas light tour. We can wear pajamas and listen to Christmas music and talk or not. I'll provide peppermint martinis and reply 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 for F off. And I was like, that's perfect. I literally just I saw that and I was like, yes,
because you weren't wanting to really get out of the house at that point or do anything.
No.
And I was like, we need to get her out. What can I do? And I saw something
was-
on Facebook about somebody had mapped out Christmas lights. Well, then somebody else had Christmas lights. And so I got like Google Maps or something and I charted this route
yeah, you did.
of all these things that people were like, these are really good lights.
Right.
And I was like, all right, you don't even have to
Genius.
like have a shower. We don't have to get out of the car. Put on your jammies, put the dog in the car.
Yeah.
We went, we saw the lights,
And
went
it
to
was-
Chick-fil-A. I was like, let's go get some little chicky nuggies for the
Right.
car ride and peppermint martinis.
It was
perfect combo.
It
Anyways,
absolutely,
it got you out of the house. Check.
Check.
right. And it was,
And Maggie had a great time.
right.
And now this is going to be an annual thing.
It was
Love it.
perfect.
So-
And then the delivery of it was perfect. And I will forever be in awe of all of you just for being able to do what you've done and continue to do. When you have someone, Noah got diagnosed when he was 47. When you have someone in your age group and they are fine 1 second and then they're really, really sick the next, I feel like it's kind of a wake up too. You know what I mean? Did you guys, with just watching the path that we were on and how things went, is that something where you're like, we need to travel more or we need to,
Definitely.
yeah. Yeah.
Every sunset, I have the chill bumps. Every sunset, every sunrise, like I just appreciate it. It's just don't know.
Yeah.
I got just before with what happened when Todd got diagnosed, that's when it triggered me that, you know, yeah, time is, it's not guaranteed. And that's when we started like trying to do more things and check some of those boxes while we are young and you know, healthy-ish and we had the means and it was just more important to really get some of those memories, you know, just check some things off because you just don't know. And it was
Right.
like Todd got diagnosed and then COVID hit. And it was just really hard because of the pandemic. Like I didn't really get a big support system physically.
Right.
Of course, everything was texts and calls and things
Right.
like that. And I had a great support system, but it was just like me and I still had 2 kids at home. It was just us getting through that. And it was just so weird and crazy. But yeah, he made it through and he's good. And yeah, we are on this track of for traveling. We are having a good time. I just want to surround myself with my family and my friends. And, you know, I just want experiences and memories,
Right.
not things.
Yeah.
Amen.
Things can be
Right.
replaced. We know lost a lot in a Category 5 hurricane or than a tornado. Like those things can get replaced, but my people, my family, the time and the memories, that's what I want. It's just rearranged everything in my life and my priorities going through
Yeah.
those things, you know?
Yes.
So being able to support you and Noah, you know, and this friendship that we have, like that's a priority.
Yeah.
So
The small things too. Don't sweat the small stuff.
yes.
That is something that, some days you're like, oh gosh, I'm having a bad day. And then I like quickly switched and I was like, this is so minor.
First world problems.
Yes,
Like,
this is
okay,
this is
yes.
so silly. Look at Melissa and Noah, what they're going through right now. This is so silly.
Yeah.
And so right then and there, I was like, stop.
Yeah. Change.
But it does. It makes you look at things different and how all these little silly things that you think, oh, it's making your day. No, it's not.
Right.
There could be, so
Yeah,
that was
I'm
another
way
thing
more
that-
aware of.
Yes.
Minor inconveniences
Mhm.
now, of course, were things that would just really dampen your whole day. And it's
Mhm.
like ridiculous that
Yes.
wasted time and
Yes.
energy about shit that didn't matter. It's
Mhm.
like, you got to
Yeah.
ask yourself. My mom said this to me once, like, if it's not going to matter in 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 months, 5 years, like, there's a lot of stuff that's in that
Mhm.
5-minute range that you don't need
Right.
to even waste your
Mhm.
time with.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I used to sweat all the small stuff. I really,
I think that's
Mhm.
kind of our default. And
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
we do. And
Mhm.
I'm glad you brought up, thinking about something that was going on and like, well, Melissa, no, I have it worse. Because I feel like throughout this whole thing, Noah went through treatment for, 6.5 years. And I was in constant contact with people. We spent over a year at that time, living in a hospital out of town.
Mhm.
And I would talk to friends and family, and it's like, you felt like, oh, well, I can't say anything about what's going on here because my thing is nothing compared to your thing.
right.
And I would constantly, I would hear Noah doing this too. Like, it's not a contest. Like, you're allowed to have a bad day. You're allowed to have horrible things happening. And the fact that, we're living in a hospital and he's really sick doesn't make your thing any less important. And it doesn't make it, what?
I felt
hear
like
you,
so
but-
narcissistic.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's all, and they're in a hospital. Like, oh my gosh. It made me look at myself like, wow. Yeah, it's just silly,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, compared to that. But I see what you're saying. But
It's not a contest. And
but-
even though things are going on, like, I want to know what's happening in the lives of people that I love. And I want to be able to like be there for you. And
This is what amazes me about you. And we laugh about this, but you had so much going on, especially back when your dad was, he got sick and like requires 24-hour care and you'd get a call and you've got a very sick husband at home. Somebody has to be with dad.
yeah,
Somebody has to be with Noah. You have 4 dogs. Like, he
Mhm.
can't care for them.
Right.
And you're being pulled in all these directions. Like, who gets your time? It was just crazy. Like, you had a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
And so, like, we get hit by the tornado and she's like, what can I do? What can I come help with? And I was like, your houses are all on fire. Like, put your own fire out. I can take care of this inconvenience, but I was
actually,
just like,
she said, bitch, your
yeah,
own house
your
is
own
on
house
fire.
is on fire. Go put your
Yeah,
fire out.
yes.
But that's what I love about you. You
Well,
are just so caring, and you're such a huge advocate for your family, and
Mhm.
I appreciate that about you. I love that about you. But yeah, you needed to put your own fire out. Like, I got this, but I don't know.
But Noah was the same way.
Yeah.
Despite everything he went through,
Oh, yeah.
he was always thinking about everyone else.
Yes.
And everyone else's well-being and what they
1,000,000%.
need. And
Yeah.
that's what made you guys a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or one of the things that did. But yeah, he was just probably, and I feel like a dick compared to like how he was.
I
then I
didn't
am,
want to
and I
say
get
it.
it,
I didn't want to
but
say it. I didn't want to say
He
it.
was probably the one of, if not the most selfless human being I've ever met.
1,000,000,000%.
Yes.
All the way to
Yes.
his last breath. I mean, he was thinking about you
Yeah.
on his, his very last time. So
Yeah.
I
there's
learned
not
so
too many
much.
people like that.
I learned so much just watching this whole thing, like just about human nature and how some people are so resilient and they are handed just a pile of crap
Over and
Mhm.
over.
over and over and
Mhm.
over, and you can't get a break, you can't get a breath, and you guys just positive, happy, just trying to make it through every single day. You never gave up.
Well, that
You
was the
know,
thing.
you
Like,
couldn't, but some people do.
right.
Mhm.
Some people do. They can't. Lesser things would have
Mhm.
broken them.
Well, I think the thing with that, like, it looks like, it was just one horrible thing after another. But in reality, the doctors didn't expect him to make it through the end of 2019.
Yeah.
And so we saw a billion little miracles.
Mhm.
And, he went through 24 lines of treatment, which is unheard of with multiple myeloma. Like, you don't live that long with that level of aggressive disease.
Mhm.
And so and we always looked at it like, I mean, you can focus on all the bad, or you can think, who is more blessed than us to have these people around us and to have this perspective and to have these doctors that care so much. And, I was always in awe of Noah. And, I saw my dad do the same thing as I was growing up. He was quadriplegic and he came back from it twice and just was the happiest
Mhm.
person I've ever known, and just thankful to be alive, even though he
I
couldn't.
think that's where you got it from. Like you
Yeah, I
definitely
agree.
learned
Oh,
that
yeah.
positive attitude from witnessing
Mhm.
how he handled his situation.
I would think, and I still to this day, I remember working at the radio station and having like no sleep, and I had a bunch of meetings after work and just like all this stuff. And I was kind of getting a headache, and I thought, ugh, this day is so stupid. I don't even want to go. And, I don't want to do this. And then dad popped in my head. And I thought if he could stand up out of his hospital bed and go in there and take a shower and then walk out to his car and drive to a job, that would be the best day of his life. So I don't have the right to
Mhm.
complain about that, And I think looking at things through that lens, it just brings more good into your life, I don't think that if Noah was horrible to be around, I don't think you would have been pals. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm
So
pretty dry like he was. And yeah. And he definitely was a better human being than me, but
he was.
we probably still would have been friends.
Yeah.
We had a different kind of friendship based
Yeah.
on our sense of humor.
Oh
so-
yeah,
And
absolutely.
our love for whiskey.
Yes, yes, and you love the bourbon.
Yeah.
You love the bourbon.
He was just so strong for all the things he had been through.
Yeah,
Like Superman.
I know. It was.
It's just unbelievable to know what his body and his mind
That can
was
get you
able
through. Yes,
to get through.
the will to live. And what's
Yes.
really funny is being on the inside of that and living at a hospital, and every person that came into his room, he could be in severe pain, he could be super sick, and he remembered everybody's names, and there was nobody that walked in that he didn't engage and ask how their day was going.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm tired, I'm not feeling talkative right now, you know what I mean? And Noah's over there hooked up to God knows what kind of medication, and yeah, just the attitude, I think, is kind of everything. Heather, what was the most uncomfortable I made you? Do you remember?
It was just hard for me because I knew you needed space, but I didn't know how much space to leave you and give you, because like Hope said, we're just worried,
Right.
and I felt like if no one was there to check on you, that like you could slip into a depression, and we just we wanted to catch you, but
Yeah.
where you weren't getting up out of bed and all that. But that was something that was difficult for me, was just to give you your space. But I was like, I feel like I need to go over there. I want
You
to.
wanted, you
But-
would have moved in, Heather. You would have moved in and just like brushed my hair if I needed it. I know you would have.
And like, and the night that Noah passed away, like, we were all like, somebody should stay. We didn't want to leave, and that was very hard because I didn't feel like you needed to be by yourself.
Right.
And but that was something that was hard for me, and I know I talked with Andy a lot about it, and I was like, okay, well, how much space do I give her? Because he said, not everybody's the same.
Yeah.
Some
Right.
people might need more space than others. Because I was
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't want to be by myself. I would want a whole bunch of people spending the night at my house. I couldn't imagine that and how I would react. So I was just trying to think, okay, what would I want? So that was
Right.
what was hard for me, was like that night. It was really difficult to leave. Like I wanted to just, go and sleep in the spare bedroom. But
Yeah, it's
But,
hard to
yeah,
gauge
that was-
what you need and when you need it, because
I didn't even know.
I know,
And I feel
and
like I
that
don't
was
know
just
now.
hard
Yeah.
because you just like we just wanted to help,
Yeah.
but just finding that fine line of like, but like if it was me, you had everybody showed up after
Yeah.
it happened. There was a house full of people.
There were so many people.
And you were just kind of sitting there. I could tell that you were shutting down and probably overstimulated. And I felt like you probably needed nobody there for some time so that you could just have your time and your
Yeah.
moment to just go through those
Mhm.
emotions, because it's like you're probably holding yourself together because you have this audience of people and we're all like,
And also, I don't want to break down in front of everybody
Right.
because I knew once I started, I wouldn't
get
stop.
that.
And
so I was like, okay, she
Mhm.
she needs to, at least tonight, give her the night to just have it, because you'd been holding on and being so strong for him
Yeah.
the last couple of days, and
right.
you're just being strong for him.
Yeah.
You're putting all of your own needs aside. And I know it was exhausting and overwhelming, and you're probably just in the go mode where you're just doing it, but you needed to release some emotions
Yeah.
and to release the stuff that you've just been holding in. And so,
Well, I had.
but after that, we're like, you can have your damn day. Okay. But then I'm dropping off this.
well, the next door neighbor.
Don't respond.
Allie,
I'm coming. I'm not coming in.
And I'm like, you can come in, come in.
No.
Like, you can come in.
Like,
I opened the door, car started. I'm like, come back.
that's right. Here's some gluten-free vegetarian. Just eat it. Just one bite. I
Just one
remember,
bite.
yeah, because
Just
there
one
was one day I
bite.
was like, just one bite.
I'm like, no, I'm going to throw up. Like, it's like when your body is
I
just
know.
like, feels like it's shutting down, It was really funny because you were still here and Shalou was here and I can't remember who else, but her kids, so Shalou's kids, I think were 6 and 7 at the time. And she's FaceTiming them. And I had just said, like, I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed. I'm going to bed. And I started walking back to the bedroom. And I don't know what time it was or anything else, but I know Shalou was FaceTiming with her kids. And the little girl, Anara, says, I want to see Noah. And then Neil goes, you can't. He's dead. And I laughed.
Kids,
so
no filter.
hard.
I'm like this. I was like,
Yeah, Heather, I think Heather had like a heart attack. Shalou's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I laughed so hard my knees buckled. And I just like fell to the floor laughing. I was like, thank you, God,
For that spark of joy.
Thank you for that. Because, yeah.
Kids
leave
are
it to kids.
brutally
Yeah.
honest
I
and
wanna
they
see
have no
Noah.
Kids are
filter.
brutally
You
honest.
Like,
can't. He's
Brandon's
dead.
kids with the Christmas.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. We get it.
Isn't that on video?
It's they
Yes.
sent a video and it was like, hey, Uncle Noah, we're praying for you. We hope you feel better. And then little Bree goes, I hope you make it till Christmas.
And then she had the awkward face like, did I just say
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Hope you make it.
Yeah. And then of course we're like, nice one, Bree, you jinxed us. You know? I hope you're happy with yourself.
God.
It's funny though because the one of the nieces sent a thank you letter to one of the uncles and said, thank you so much for this contribution to my school thing, whatever it was. And she's like, ever since Uncle Noah died, you're my favorite uncle, but not before.
Okay. That's right.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
I was like,
Star, but not before.
but yeah, don't go getting ahead of yourself. You haven't
That's
always
right.
been.
Second place is first place
Oh,
loser.
my
Right. I want to thank you guys all so much for coming here and talking and for, just being here in the mess. And I am not going to say I'm not going to be a shit show anymore. I think I'm just one for life now. And thanks for
Fine.
loving me anyway. And thanks for letting me make you uncomfortable to cheer myself up. And
Anytime.
yeah, I just love you guys so much. And I seriously thank you. And I think that people can learn from this. And I think this is something we should talk about more. I think open communication is a big thing. But
Yeah. We love you. We're here for you.
love you. If Noah was here, he would have called you gay. I love you too.